Hak hem weer. Hier gooi je een klomp errors hiervoor uit. Nee. Daar's hy, problem solved. Okay. Okay. Alright, en die ander ding, wat een folder gooi kom in? Dit is XP11. Ek het dit gesien, downloads, nee, downloads. Nee, waar kan die Nico folder? Ek sal aan die Nico folder, ek het die hele folder gedownload. Waar? Nee, kom ons gaan aan met... As I explain. Okay. 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 Alright. Doen jou. Jy het gesê ek moet die configuration file. Oh, here. Ja. File, goed. Okay. Pas Nico, Jonas is baie happy vandag. Jonas, hy gaan hom kyk hoe jy hom vlieg. Jonas, hy gaan vlieg. Hy gaan hom die sluk koffie vat voor hy opgaan met die trap. There were some errors. Okay. Yeah. Okay. X camera not registered. Okay. Excellent. Jy staat af van my masjien af. Kom ek keep certificate nou deur.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you for joining me on stream again this beautiful Saturday morning. I hope you guys are all doing well and that you are all okay.
Hey, waar is die link? YouTube. Sky. Netflix.
Okay, guys, it looks like I'm unable to see your chats in my OBS this morning. So if I miss something, I'll try jump between OBS and the browser because that's the only place I can see chats. I don't know why that's doing it. It did an update yesterday, so I presume it messed up something. I don't really want to stop the stream and start again, so we'll do our best. Just keep me informed if you miss something and if you're not on the same page, if I say something or miss something, okay? Okay, so good morning, David. Welcome to the stream. So guys, in the last couple of months, there's been a lot of hoo-ha, fights, trolling, saltiness, and a whole bunch of other crap on Facebook regarding who's the best Airbus, who made the best Airbus, which one is study level, which one is not, and a whole bunch of nonsense. And I obviously started looking but didn't participate, and then, as you know, a couple of weeks ago I got involved with JarDesign and their latest model, and all of a sudden my interest got piqued again in this whole Airbus story. Now, I own the Toliss A319, as you can see over here. This is the Toliss that's spinning around here. I own the Flight Factor A320, and I obviously have the very latest JarDesign, and I've made a point of trying to find out from the guys on Facebook without getting into a fight situation to give me facts. Tell me why you believe that you need to kill me for not agreeing with me. Why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to kill everybody that doesn't agree with you? Give me facts. And up to now, not a single person, not one, has been able to give me a single fact, technical fact, that says the one is better than the other. Okay. When I look at the aircraft, I look at them in a logical fashion. I look at them as an engineer, and I look at facts, and I I go, what? What are these guys talking about? Because I can't see it. It's like we're talking politics here. You know, what you say and what you do are two different things, and what you say and what you believe are two different things. And so, to make things interesting and without picking a fight, I'm not going to bash any of the models. I don't think it's fair. Each one has its own right, and each one has its own niche market, as far as I'm concerned. But I thought I'd just give you a flight simmer's perspective. I'm not a real world Airbus pilot. I have in fact never even been inside an Airbus. My real world experience is, a whole bunch of other different aircraft, but I've never even been in an Airbus. So I'm going to give you a flight simmer's perspective this morning. For me, this is not about who's better, who's not great, who's doing what. And I really don't want to fight. So bear with me and let me just show you what I've found, and then we can have a debate about it. But please keep emotions out of it. I'm not interested in emotions. I want facts for a change. We can talk about what works, what doesn't work, and where these things fit in. And this is about the idea of the stream today. So, without further ado, this is the Toliss A319, and I'm starting with it because from my experience and comparing this model with the other two models, this is the entry level one. This is the basic one with the least immersion. It is the one with the least systems. It is the one with the least of almost everything. It looks nice, and thank you again for the livery, Andre Nortime. This is an excellent livery. I really like it. It's nice to have a personalized aircraft. So let's start. First of all, you don't get any ground services with this aircraft. All right, the other two aircraft come with ground services. This one has got a very fancy load manager. And we're going to use that later on, and we're going to set up a whole bunch of things here. This is about the page we're going to get stuck on most. When we get there, we'll get there. So I've configured the aircraft to be cold and dark, and this is basically going to be the comparison, like I said, from a flight simmer's perspective. Please don't worry too much about the depth of the systems, the study level. It's got nothing to do with it. I'm speaking today to ordinary flight simmers who just want to know more and to see the difference between the aircraft. I'm not going to do stalls and, exceed the bank angle to see who recovers automatically and all these kind of funny things. We're just going to enjoy it as we go on. So this is Toliss. It's very basic. I haven't been able to open the windows. I don't think that's supported. Not sure anybody else knows how to open it. You're welcome to tell me. I can see my side stick is animated. It moves, so that's nice. All in all, it looks decent. I mean, it's an Airbus. Everything sits in the right place, and it does what it's supposed to do. So let's get going. I noticed that when it's daytime, you don't really see the overhead lights. I mean, you can see it eventually at the very end there. You can see something comes up. It's not very bright. I don't mind. It's okay. That's our dome light there, and that works nice. Go on each one of the aircraft. I've got a little bit of a difference, little quirk about them, and it makes them unique. Puts them in a different class, gives something to each person who wants to buy them. Okay, this is the first big difference that I've noticed between the Toliss and the other two. This display does not work at all. I don't seem to get any display on it. Sebastian, I use Active Sky for Explain. It's active in the sim right now. I love it. I don't ever want to fly without it again unless something better comes around. Active Sky for Explain does it for me. Because I'm going to test 3 different aircraft in the same flight, I saved a custom weather file for myself. So when we look at weather, it's obviously going to be exactly the same in each of the flights. You know, that's very important. No point in testing aircraft if it's not the same weather. And that's also a function in Active Sky that really works well. We can also change the weather on the fly, make custom weather. It's very nice. Two things regarding the lights that I noticed is these little knobs here underneath the MCP don't work. There's no way to change the intensity of the lights, the backlights or the ones there in that display. And then these light switches don't work at all. You can flick them, but there's no light. There's supposed to be a light that comes on here, so it's not there. We also don't have a little meter tool over here. We can't request meters and update them as we need. I've not flown the Toliss in any weather of any sorts where the weather radar had to show anything, but as far as I can see, it seems to be operational. Um, if you know if it works, you can tell me. I haven't seen it work because I just haven't been in that situation yet. I do really like is all the pop outs. I mean, these pop outs really look cool. Not restricted as to where you can place them on the screen, which is another bonus. This really makes sense to me. If you guys have seen this, if it's the first time, have a look here. This is interesting. The pop out is not the same MCDU as the one that's at the bottom. Not much difference. I mean, they do the same job, but just as a matter of interest, that one's got little push buttons for the brightness, and this one's got a knob, and the knob doesn't seem to work here. Oh, it does. You just have to click on it. All right, okay. Prep for the flight and get going. This is also something that's very nice and unique to Toliss. You can actually click on the flight planner and go find your flight plan in the list. I really like this feature. This is cool. Right, then we move back to our little tool. I have here in terms of passengers, the distribution, the cargo, all these things are stuff that I pre-prepared. So I'll just make sure that it's loaded properly. What is nice here is also we get all our performance data from this tool. I really like this. This is nice. And that takes care of our MCDU programming. I was listening to a YouTube video yesterday of a real world pilot who was flying both Toliss and Flight Factor, and he kept on talking about the McDo. I kind of like that reference. It sounds cool. The McDo, the MCDU. So that takes care of that. That takes care of this one. And we are about, 2 minutes away from IRS alignment. Well configured. I better push back now and get ready.
Round to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Lima, Papa, Papa, Tango, airport information, Delta 1600, Zulu, weather, wind 052 at 9, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 2.0, QNH 1026. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Delta. Lima, Papa, Papa, Tango, airport information, Delta 1600, Zulu.
Alright, so after starting our APU, we need to wait for the flaps to open. Then we can start this APU.
Front to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback. You may start the engines. Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Check the lights coming through the floorboard. Something I really found amusing. It's not an issue really, but it's amusing.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. and signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
So to kill the cabin check, we have to press this button. Then we need to arm our spoilers and do our config takeoff config test. Then we are okay. Ignition is set to normal. Our APU is still available because it's spooling down, but the master and bleed are both off. And we're ready to go. Let's go. This aircraft has a lot of power and you've got to pull back on the throttle very quickly once you get going, otherwise you're just going to run away.
Approaching 03. On runway 03.
Very nice cabin, I must say. I like the configuration. If we go sit in one of the seats. Didn't save that one, I'll have to fix it. Very spacious. I presume the emergency doors are the reason that we don't have an extra row of seats. We can see some markings that there should be some. So anyway, but all in all, very nice. So as you can see, I mean, this thing does what an Airbus is supposed to do. You can get in, you can program, you can take off, you can look around. There's some pretty nice eye candy in certain places. I agree that there's a bit of textures that needs to be fixed, but that's not going to stop me from enjoying this aircraft. A couple of the knobs don't really have a function yet, like the radio volume over there. I can't see any function in that. In the other Airbuses, that controls the actual X-plane radio volume. So when you have your better pushback guy scream at you, you can just quickly turn him down a little bit there. We know this light is, the switch is working, but I can't see any lights coming. But those are all minor things. I think this is a very, very good entry-level Airbus, and it's a work in progress. We need to remember that there's a lot of work to be done in all the Airbuses, make no mistake. Not one of them are perfect. But this one's got a little bit of a more of a development that needs to go into it than the two other ones. One of the things that I struggled with, I want to mention this to you guys, is it doesn't behave the same as the other two Airbuses when it comes to the top of descent. I've had it where it almost crashed me out one time, and I've had it where it simply just doesn't follow the glide path down to the next level that is set. So I'm going to see if I can reproduce the actual proper working of it. The intention is not to crash it, but we'll talk through it when we get there. That was a bit of a concern to me, because when I, as a flight simmer with zero real world experience, look at all the other buses in all of the flight sim community, there's a certain way of hitting the top of descent and it goes, and then it works. This one did not want to listen to me. So again, guys, if one of you know any better, please help me out here. I might be doing something horribly wrong, but it doesn't react like the other ones.
Lima, Papa, Romeo, airport information, Echo 1600 Zulu, weather, wind 092 at 3, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 13, dew point -1, QNH 1028, advise on initial contact, you have information, Echo. Lima, Papa, Romeo, airport information, Echo 1600 Zulu, weather, wind 09. I almost forgot the decision right there. The RNAV arrival on runway 35 in Porto, so that's why our value at the top here is set a bit low. I don't want that to interfere with RNAV. If it was ILS, it would have been a different story, so I'm just keeping it at that. Just something else I'm thinking of here, our footrests don't work, you can't use them in this model, and also the trays do not come out, they're not animated yet. Best weather we've had in Portugal for about a month. I was pleasantly surprised that we didn't have a complete cloud bank cover story going again like before. First test, this side is on some other tangent. I don't know what she's busy with, but I don't think I'm going to get anything soon. When this flight is over, I'll go grab a coffee and then set up the next flight and help myself.
20 nautical miles from top of descent, so it's coming along nicely. Looks like a nice fishing spot over there, hey? We must go try it. Here's the top of descent. Now this is what is confusing me on this model. Usually when I get to 10 nautical miles on the other buses, I will just press this button. Good golly, and this morning it works. Both previous flights I simply couldn't get the little wings come up and it simply did not want to listen. Now that is a mystery. Alright, now what needs to happen is our glide path is that little button over there, that little marker over there. That needs to move down now, and then the aircraft needs to capture it and then go down. I hate Murphy, him and his laws. Well, at least it's going to make for a better video than what I had to contend with when the video wasn't running. There we go, it's taken that glide path. Fantastic. Okay, I'm happy. I'm feeling much relieved. So we should be on the ground in about 15 minutes, and then it's flight number 2 in the flight factor. David, speed seems to be perfect. I'm not even using the spoilers. They still in the off position, and this aircraft is keeping the speed. If we look at our marker over there, it's just slightly under speed, which is fine because it's diving, so I'm okay. This looks perfect. The design, for instance, I've got to go to half speed brake at least for it to keep it, then it's perfect. This one seems to do it on its own. From what I understand, listening to the real world guys who fly the Toliss, they tell me the systems and the flight model is very accurate. They don't specify percentage wise if it's 50, 60, 80, 90% accurate. I think the consensus is that the flight model in the flight factor is better than the flight model in this one, but I don't have any way to compare it except in the sim. I don't have the real world knowledge to say they're right or they're wrong. From what I can see here, there's nothing wrong with flying this aircraft. You can fly this aircraft, and that's my measuring stick being a flight simmer. I need to know, can I take off and land somewhere, and fly the route in between, and it seems to be doing that perfectly. The glide path over there, I mean, it is very stable. It's not going up and down or anything. I see the changes are made on the speed side to compensate for whatever needs to happen in the vertical speed side, and that's cool by me. Wow, that action looked so cool. You could see the aircraft was planning and waiting and planning and waiting and then dropped the nose. Oh, that looked so cool. absolutely the best this aircraft has behaved in quite a few flights. I think about 4 flights now. This is the best one. Sure glad the camera's rolling this time.
Altimeter setting.
This is the first time I'm having to use the spoilers, so we can slow down a little bit. Okay, and the spoilers are armed again. Man, this thing is pitching up quite a bit. And I have the runway in sight. Right over there. Gear down. Spoilers armed, auto brake armed, gear down, 3 green, and that should be fine for landing then. Just waiting for full flaps. Cabin, press the button again, there we go, so that's green and only full flaps remaining.
Approaching 3-5.
Right, so I'm not sure what the behavior of this aircraft will be when we do a replay, so let's find out. deep, but it was worth it. The nice thing, I don't know how realistic it is, but the nice thing about this aircraft, it seems to really stop short. I mean, it doesn't take forever to stop. It really brakes hard, stops very fast. Wow, interesting. I didn't even really have to use the reverses. I just felt like it, you know, nice for the experience, but wow. Didn't look like it. Yeah, I saw. From this angle. Bit of a floater, eh? Yep, it's a pocket rocket. Good expression. That was a smooth landing. Wow. Right guys, there's no point in taxiing and wasting time. What I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to just switch the screens, restart, explain, and then we'll do the same flight with the flight factor. For those of you who are interested, stick around, eh? You can always come back, watch the video later as well. It will take about 10-15 minutes to get ready, so this is a good time for a break, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hallo. Kun je me hoor? Lekker vluggie man, lekker vluggie daar. Hier zie. Oké, met dit. Jij transmet op Altwinnen.
I can pick you up when you're heading down. When it all just sucks, I'll be your Charlie Brown. You can make me laugh when I wanna cry. In a world of mess, we're on an all-time high. Oh, 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 oh. You and I till the end. Don't need to pretend again and again. We'll stick together. Everything is alright with you by you and me. Talking about smooth sailing on calm seas, feeling all flowers and bees. Talking about you and me. Ain't it funny how life turns and changes? One fine day it all just rearranges. Try to see it coming, but it throws you all the same. Talking about the day I first learned your name. Talking about blue skies, about sunshine. Top down, feeling free, feeling all flowers and bees. Talking about smooth sailing on calm seas. Your hair in the warm summer breeze. Talking about you and me. Talking about you and me. Talking about you and me. Talking about, I'm talking about you and me.
Right, guys, I am back. Right, okay. I just had to speak to David quickly. He's now joining us back on stream and we're good to go. This is the Flight Factor A320 for those of you that have not seen it and have heard big stories. I hope it lives up to your expectations. As a $90 add-on, we have a great expectation. So let's see what this one can do for us. I think it goes without saying to show you guys that this one comes with a tablet. I think this is one of the selling points, and this is one of the things that really puts a little buzz in the community and puts some butterflies in a couple of people's stomachs when they talk about the Flight Factor. I don't think it is a requirement to have a tablet. None of the other two models have one. They've got their own way of doing the loading and all. But for what the entertainment value and the immersion value is worth, I give this a total thumbs up. I think it's very nice to have this little facility. And instead of going to menus in other places, you literally sit right here and you can add the ground power. While we are here, let's also look at our fuel situation. Just need to get the mouse out of the way and zoom in a little bit. And get that OFP again. Where did we save that? Right, so we need 5.1. That should be good enough. So we're going to set the fuel. we're going to go to our passengers and we are going to do the same. And in fact, we need to call them. Oops. Alright, so there we go. Then we're going to go to full. This aircraft has a capacity of 136 compared to what the Toliss has, and I think we used 145 packs over there. I'm not sure now that we used maximum, but anyway, it's irrelevant. It's got different capacities in each of these aircraft. The JarDesign comes with 150 passengers, so there we go. That is full, and we set them in place. In terms of cargo, we are only going to put in 100. Oh, cool. We're only going to put in 100 kilograms. If we can go down that low. No, this thing is slippery. I don't think you can move it with the, any other way than just dragging it. So we're going to go close and then we're going to leave it. Pretend that's 100. Good. So we're going to set that. That's set. Packs. Set. Fuel. Set. That's our supply. And before we look any further, let's quickly go outside. Opposed to the Toliss, this one also comes with its little stairways and loaders and a fuel truck and an APU, so a little bit of extra eye candy here, a little bit more immersion this side. In terms of the cockpit, you'll see it's totally different, a totally different design. I don't know what to really call it, how you compare the two, but this is like complete textures, you know, nothing missing, everything in place, and the textures really look good for me. I really like the way it looks and feels. It really, you can see a lot of work has gone in here. It's a nice professional job at the end of the day, and I suppose this is half or 3/4 of what we paid $90 for, so this is really nice. Our wing views, engine, and this is the cabin. So again, the guys put up a nice cabin. We look around it, it looks nice. This little tool over here is non-functioning. It's just a nice to have. In the JarDesign, for instance, this is working, or some of it is working. At least you can press some of the buttons and set some lighting over here. But at least this one has got it in. In terms of our seat, this is what it looks like when we sit in the cabin. And then we've obviously got the cabin at the back. Little galley over here. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get going. One of the first things that I do notice is that we actually have a moving battery volts indicator on both sides. We can actually see that it's alive. The other one was just static, and now it's settled. We can add our ground power to it and switch on our fuel pumps. Alright, then we just need to give it a wee while before we start doing our IRSs. Okay, now as far as I know, and we can quickly test this, let's turn the radio volume down. This, I think, tunes the radio in. No, it also doesn't. No radio volume change. Okay, my mistake. So that again doesn't really do anything for us. Let's check this light. Seems to be a light. Let's change our time a little bit. There is definitely a light. So that is simulated. That is air and not a light, so we won't see anything over there. Man, these things are slippery. Gotta be careful, they run away quick. Alright. Okay, the footrests don't work, but the trays work. That's very nice. Oh, that looks cool.
Lima, Papa, Papa, Tango, airport information, Foxtrot 1600, Zulu, weather, wind 052 at 9er, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 12, dew point 0, QNH 1026, advice on initial contact, you have information, Foxtrot Lima, Papa, Papa, Tango, airport information, Foxtrot 1600, Zulu, weather, wind 052 at 9er, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 12, dew point 0, QNH 1026, advice on.
Alright, so you've probably seen a couple of things now where you didn't get my voice. I apologize for that. I've switched back to OBS to find my voice has been muted. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show anyway. We see that the little trays work. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I looked at, and the radios work. Obviously this is nice. Our seat can lift the armrest. Now this is one thing that I know there's been a lot of fighting about, and that's the weather radar. The weather radar does not work in this model, so no point in fiddling over there. It's a pity. Like I said, I'm not sure if the Toliss one works, but this one definitely doesn't work, not yet. Right, there's a bit of a trick to set the well, that takes care of the transponder there for us. Let's get the IRSs aligned. Okay, cool. Thank you. Then it was something that happened on the sound at the very last moment. I don't know why, but anyway. One thing I can say about this flight factor is the systems is deep level. This is what most people refer to as study level. So in terms of the systems, in terms of getting the enunciators and getting the correct responses, they tell me from what I hear from the real world guys, they say this is about 80% true. So this is very high level for flight simulation, guys. It's not just a toy, if I can put it this way. So again, like I said earlier, I'm not a real Airbus pilot, so I just go on what I hear and what I see and what the guys tell me. But apparently in terms of systems, this thing is incredible. We'll see how it flies and what value it gives to us flight simmers. Right, so while we are waiting for that, let's get cracking on our MCDU over here. Oops. Right, so this is a slightly different way of loading our flight plan. That is the one that we want, and we're going to insert it for us, which is cool. Alright, so that's where we do the IRS setup on this one, apart from the overhead. At this one. I suppose we have to type this in then. Right, and there we have exactly the same flight plan as we did in the Toliss, and we can do our preferences. So let's have a look. Flaps 2, we are going to go down by 0.6. Alright. The flex temperature, now that's something we need to work out on a website. Let's get that website going. I'm just going to quickly work it out on the side here. Dry, that's correct. Take off weight. This one 800. Calculate. Taking runway 3. Flex is 68. case you guys are wondering, that is the website that I use to calculate the performance value, and you can see over there we've got a flex of 68 over there. So we're going to stick to that. What's next? Flap speeds 144. 144 and 147. Right, now something else that we can do on the tablet is we've got checklists, and then we've also got a browser. So let's do this. Just quickly looking up my username and password, guys. So this gives us access to our Navigraph straight from the tablet over here. Now I need to get the right name. I think this is another reason why the guys go gaga over this aircraft. It's just because of what functionality you get in this little tablet. It really makes it nice. That is not correct. It actually is my bad, sorry. Helps if I read better. There you go, David. That is for that performance calculator. Right, so over here we can also then work out how we're going to taxi, and we're going to end up right about there by Mach 5 and get on the runway and get going. So let's leave that over there. Pleasure, David. Then don't worry too much about the settings, but if you go through these settings and you get your things going, you end up with a Google API key. You can actually have Google Maps on here as well, and that will follow you where you fly. So for our purposes, let's just leave it at that for now. Then what we're going to do is look at preparing for the pushback. So we're going to go back to the other screens just now anyway. Right, the radios are on, most of everything is done, set. We can then close the doors, start the APU, that'll be fun too. Let's see. We're waiting for the flap to open. then we can start the APU, and once it is running we can switch on the bleed. So while we're waiting for that, let's go back to the tablet. And once it's running, we can also get rid of our ground power, but let's have a look see now. As you can see, the doors are closed and all the little carts and everything are gone. Only the ground power unit remains. Right, so that is taken care of, and we can start the APU bleed and kill ground power. Let's go back to our map. Okay, I'm trying to move it, it doesn't seem to want to move. Not sure if I'm doing something wrong or what, but maybe that's just the way it is. I'm used to the Zippo one, so I pull and drag that thing all over the place. Right, let's leave that one. I'm going to switch this one off. We really don't need that one. Just check.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tail is driving up.
Right guys, if you hear the kids in the background, I'll try and mute them as fast as I can, but it's not always doable, so just bear with me on that one. Kids will be kids, unfortunately.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And that's the coffee, it is good.
Still connected with bypass speed 30. Release parking brake. Starting push test. You may start the engine.
As a matter of interest, on both, well, sorry, not both, on all three models of the Airbus, the bottom timer works for our block time, and the flight timer works at the top, so you must just click in the right spot and it will get going. Depending on the airline that you fly for, that top one will either be switched on when you start your push, or it will be switched on before you go on the runway. I generally forget to press the button, so I click it whenever I feel like it.
Stand by.
Right, so ground spoilers are armed, flaps 2, parking brake is set, APU bleed is still on, we need to kill the APU now. Ha, we forgot about the beacon.
No issues connected, can bypass gate as individual. And signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
We set down 0.6 for the trip. Bye bye, thank you. Alright, so takeoff config test okay. Oh, green, no worries over there, everything's fine. Let's get taxi. Maybe new bleed can come off as well. Alright. This one takes a little bit more power to get going than the Toliss. That one was like absolutely a rocket off the bat there. You can feel this aircraft is heavy, man. Right, guys, I hope you're ready. Let's go. Let's see what this one does.
Approaching 03. On runway 03.
But I'm finding it very hard to use the pedals to turn left. This is not right. And I know why. And if any one of you laugh at me, I'm gonna be angry. But for some reason, look, only one engine works. So what is that problem? I've never seen this.
On runway 03. On runway 03.
That one is as dead as a doornail. Just not working. There is life, but only in the reversers. Okay, get parking brake on. Let's see. So button 15 says do nothing. Why does that? Oh, it's because I'm not moving it. Well, now this is enough to upset someone. Why would the flight factor not accept that? Definitely works. I did. I don't believe in not restarting. I always restart. That's why you had to wait 10 minutes.
On runway 03.
I've just
On
unplugged
runway
it, I've replugged
03.
it. We can see the one works, the other one doesn't. Let's quickly try a different lever on the assignment. Let's do this. None. You go away. And then we take number 3. Change that to throttle number 1. This is going to be funny because it's a different way around. You see, still nothing. Nothing. I initially thought I never started engine number 1. I clearly started engine number 1. Engine number 2 is running. Everything is fine, and the lever just doesn't want to move. Even on the reassigned lever, it's just not moving. I don't think there's anything. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Flight configuration. Customize failures. Fix all systems. Done. Apply changes.
On runway 03.
Nope. Nothing. I didn't touch any fuel anyway, and I don't know what you're talking about. Right, okay, so I have a plan. I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to restart. And we'll call this part 2 when I restart. And then we'll just run through it again without all the commentary. I'll just jump on it and run through everything and make sure it works. Let's put the settings back before we do that. Still not. Okay, guys, I'll see you in 5 to 10 minutes. Sorry about that. This time I'm actually going to end the stream. I think what I need to do is just start a new stream, call it part 2, and then we go on.